sandrock central tendency, which is what I call it, in relation to space debris in the atmosphere, creating ripples in our troposphere that that affects our radio signals, you know, the Wi-Fi, weather balloons and stuff like that. How it relates to, right, basically it's like a microcosm of that macrocosm of, you know, space debris entering our atmosphere, dissolving into particles, like a comet or something hitting, and then or a meteor passing by Earth or hitting our atmosphere, hitting the Earth's ozone and then dissolving in the ozone, and then particles existing in the atmosphere like the troposphere and stuff like that, right? So this is my theory on that, existing right here on the Earth as above, so below. So let's see how this is the microcosm of that macrocosm. So like I said, this actually created a shape, right? When the water hit it, and then it hit the centrifugal point, which is the space debris. We're using this rock as an example of space debris, like comet debris or meteor debris that exists in our atmosphere. An event happens every single day. One to two events of meteors or comets enter our ozone every day. So and it should affect our radio signals and stuff like that. So sometimes it's sunstorms, like what they said is recently happening. Sometimes I believe it's just space debris that happens every single day. So and I'm trying to get the quantity of it, right? I posted the quantity of it in my what's the name, on my post on Instagram, where I showed the sandrock central tendency of a screensaver image where the water had washed up on the sand and it created ripples in the sand. And that was what's the name, that was like my first you know, post on my whole theory of it or whatever. Now I'm actually trying it myself in real life. So I'm just shooting this video because the other video ran out, the time ran out on it. I didn't have that much memory or space on my phone, so I'm doing it on Instagram real quick. And the quality on the feedback on the replay will probably not be as good, but I'm going to try to get as close as possible in that case. So I just want to explain that. So as you can see, I'm trying to get real close right here, trying to see what I'm looking at through the phone instead of what my eyes can see. And as you can see, this where the rock is the centrifugal point, space debris, the rock, right, created a concave. It created a centripetal force, right? And this is the diameter and this is the radius, right? So when the water hit it, and it create a funnel, because how the bottle is shaped, and that's how the water came out. Is that how it created the funnel? No, because see, as you can see, I just spilled that water and it didn't really create a funnel, right? It just created an imprint, right, that had no real tunnel shape. It's just like a circle. This has a tunnel shape because of the rock concave, the space debris, that's the centrifugal point. So when it hit, it didn't create the funnel shape. It's when it hit the rock and the rock created centripetal force around it, when it came back, it created the funnel shape, right? So that's what I believe is what's happening in our atmosphere. When wind in our troposphere hits the space debris in our troposphere from space debris from meteors and you know, comets and stuff, little particles that exist in there, it hits that particle, that space debris, and that space debris is like centrifugal force. That's the center point of not the center point of gravity, but I guess you go ahead and say gravity, right? Because not gravity, right? So that's just the center point of where the ripples coming from, right? Where the tunnel comes from. So when that wind hits that space debris, those particles of space debris, it creates centripetal force, right? A diameter around it. And then when the wind circles back, it creates a tunnel. And the tunnel is what creates ripples. And the ripples are what affect the Wi-Fi. Like when Wi-Fi hits a ripple, it becomes parabolic, right? It becomes 0 point gravity. So I guess you could say, yes, the space debris is centrifugal center point of gravity, right? Because when that when those radio signals hit the ripples that are created from the wind hitting the space debris and reverberating, creating ripples in our troposphere, those radio signals hitting those ripples become parabolic, right? 0-point gravity. They no longer travel from a direct point of, like if you're looking at Ohm's law, Ohm's law is basically like volts, current, and amps. If you're looking at that, or volts, current, and power, however you choose to say it, if you're looking at that, it's from one point to another point is how electricity travels, right? It travels from the resistor, current, and amps or power or whatever, right? So it travels from the current to the resistor, which ends at the point of power, right? So if the radio signal is traveling, if a Wi-Fi is traveling from one phone to another phone, it has a current, and that current travels in the air, right? It exists in the air. And then from that point of traveling in the air, it hits in a resistor. The resistor in the ohm is like an insulator or something like that, right? Or not an insulator, but a resistor is something that meters out basically the amps or the power of the current. So like if I was to drink, I would curl my mouth a little, or the resistor would be how I hold the water, you know what I'm saying, to meter out how much water enters my throat, right? So this would be the resistor. This is the space debris. This is the resistor. It meters it out, and then it reverberates back. The signal reverberates back and forth, right? So when it hits those ripples, though, there's a disturbance, right? Because it's not a straight point anymore. It's a straight point, but it has ridges and ripples, right? So it starts to it has it's disrupted, and then it comes it says connection disrupted or whoopty whoop or whatever, right? And I think that happens with hot weather, air balloons, and all that kind of stuff. So that's my theory for today. I just wanted to go ahead and put it out there because I'm gonna pursue it. I'm going back to college, so I'm gonna take it to one of my college professors, show him this video, show him the math I did on it also, because I did math on it that I put up in a post, and I think I've predicted the times it happens and stuff like that, because we already know what time, how often space debris enters our atmosphere. So yeah, all right, man, that's it. And yeah, wish me luck, man. All right.